Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io.
Where'd my music go? It stopped. All right. There we go.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io.
Welcome to the Go Live Challenge kickoff. I'm so excited. I'm giggling at the comment about, no, bring back the 80s music. Okay, so you like more 80s music. I'll find 80s music. I shifted to a new platform, and anyway, it's a whole different thing, and I'm still working on it. So I will promise you this. For next week's challenge, I will get some really good music. In fact, I'll do different music each of the 3 days. How's that sound? So I'm taking requests. So we have one request already for some 80s music. What other music do you want? Drop some comments, and I'll pick. We'll do different music every day. Oh my gosh, that will be so fun. Okay, so the goal today, by the way, is to talk about how this Go Live Challenge works. And if you see me abbreviate GLC, that stands for Go Live Challenge. So today you're going to learn, how does this thing work next week? I'm going to try and do that in the first 5 minutes here. And then we will get into what I like to call whoa, that's not what I wanted. Obliterating, I can't see. Obliterating obstacles. What do I mean by that? What is getting in your way of going live? So you've registered for the challenge, or have you? There may be some of you who have not yet registered. I want to get you registered. So if something's getting in your way of doing this, of going live, we're going to bust through these obstacles today on the call. Okay. But first, let's get into who I am and what this Go Live Challenge is all about. So if you are brand new to my group, welcome. If you're brand new to me, welcome. I'm so excited to meet you and get to know you. My name is Jamie Hain, and I am a video and growth coach. And I used to hate going live. I dreaded it, avoided it. I was awful, terrible at it. I am an introvert and I am shy. So what you see is learned behavior. And once I had this really horrible bad experience, one of my lives early on, and I vowed in that moment to never let it happen again. Like, I'm going to become so great at going live that I don't want to feel this yucky way anymore. And as soon as that started to pivot and shift in me, I was like, oh my gosh, this is I need to help other people do this. And I pivoted my whole business. I switched from what was public speaking into just doing video and showing up in your Facebook group on video. And that's kind of my little story in a nutshell. So let's get into how this Go Live Challenge works. All right. This thing is going to be next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So if you don't already have it on your calendar, put it on your calendar, okay? It is each of those days at 12 o'clock Mountain Time. Now, for those of you that are like, what time is that for me? You do not want to ask me because I'm really bad at this. So go to World Time Buddy, it's free, and put in MDT. If you need a city, you can put in Denver, Colorado, even though that's not where I'm at. And it'll calculate where you are at and what time zone it is for you. I am time zone impaired. So I have just stuck with, I tell you my time zone and I leave it to you to convert it, okay? It will be 5 minutes. The first 5 minutes is where you're going to learn. So for those of you that are like, I'm super busy, I don't have time for this. Yes, you do. You can make room for 5 minutes. That's all it takes, 5 minutes. And if you want to stay beyond that 5 minutes, I will give more examples. I'll tell more stories. I'll help answer questions, things of that nature. But if you just show up for the first 5 minutes, that is where you're going to learn the most important parts of this challenge. Okay, we will probably, for those of you that need to know, I will probably be on for about an hour each day answering questions and helping you. But the first 5 minutes are going to be what you want to make sure you get. Okay, now here's what's going to happen. Over those 3 days, you are going to plan a live video with me. I'm going to take you through it step by step. There will be a workbook each day that'll help guide you through this. Okay, and then at the end, you're going to go live in my community one time, using what we just planned over the previous 3 days. That is how it works. It's as simple as that. So for those of you that are like, wait, this isn't how it always used to be. You're right. It is a total change. It's different content, which we'll talk about here in a second. And the format, the way we do it is different. So you're only going to go live one time next week. So exciting. Okay. What are you going to learn inside of this? This starts to get into what is the 3-step model that you are going to master by the end of the challenge, okay? So number one, day one, we are going to start with the end in mind. We're going to talk about how you're going to end your video because it is where your call to action is. And when you can clearly define that up front, you are going to be way more likely to achieve it when you plan it this way, okay? Day two is going to be, how do we start? How do we grab the attention of your viewers so that they want to watch your video? And then day three, other than pulling all the pieces together, this is where you're going to connect with your viewer. How do you make your viewer feel like you are only talking to them? And yes, those of you that have done this challenge with me in the past, this is all about eye contact, okay? All right, so the model is hook, story, call to action. We're just building it in a different order. Okay, so what you need to get here is that any of your videos, any video, really, honestly, it could be as long as you want. It is based on this kind of core framework. You start with a hook to get their attention. You tell some sort of story. Maybe you give some advice, give a tip, and then you have a call to action. It does not get any simpler than that. Okay, that is what you're going to learn in the challenge next week. Yay! So excited. And like I said before, there is a workbook. There will be a workbook every day that'll help you put the pieces together, and I will be right here to guide you through it. Okay, what questions, if any, do you have about any of this? Oops, we're not there yet. Hold on. Oh, I thought I had a thing that said questions, but I do not. Okay, any questions so far? All right, let me go through and make sure I don't see any questions. Hang on here. Okay. Happy to be here. Grateful to be here. So excited. Oh, thank you guys for dropping in some time zones. That's awesome. I love it. Can't wait to get started. Awesome. Okay, then I'm assuming you got no questions. All right, let's talk about what am I going to talk about? So if I'm doing one live, what is my topic? What am I going to cover? Okay, I'm going to give it to you today. I do not want you to overthink about this, but I do want you to give it some thought. It is going to be a tip. Share a tip. Any tip, it doesn't matter, share a tip. What tip can you give us next week? And then we're going to build your video around that. I want you to think small, teeny tiny tip. Okay, so for example, if my video next week, I am going to teach you how to make a gourmet peanut butter and jelly sandwich. My tip might be, instead of putting butter on the bread to grill that peanut butter and jelly sandwich, use mayonnaise. There's my tip. That teeny tiny, that's all I want you to worry about. Don't overthink this. You can't go wrong. You can't pick a wrong topic. This is just for the exercise next week. Okay? Now, you have optional pre-work available to you. There are 2 videos that you can watch if you need them. Only if you need them, okay? The first one is, I gotta get better at turn one off and turn the next one on. If you've never gone live before, there is a video on how to do it from your phone and how to do it from your computer, and then there are step-by-step instructions. So if you've never done it before, you definitely wanna make sure that you watch that pre-work video. Those of you that have registered, it went out to you in email. It is also pinned in this group. It's the picture of me that goes like this, that has 2, and then there's 2 little blocks. One says go live, and the other one says manage your nerves. The links to grab both of them are in the description with that post, okay? If you are somebody that is nervous, I'm nervous about doing this for whatever reason, and however it shows up, this would be a really good module for you to watch. Both of them are 10 minutes or less. There's a workbook for this as well that'll help you put together kind of a pre-go live checklist that is going to help you start to manage your nerves. Is it going to solve it all like that? No, it's not a magic wand, but it is going to get you in that direction. Okay? All right. Any questions about the pre-work or your topic for next week? I'm checking on the comments, see if you got anything. Danny loves my PB&J. I use it all the time as my example. For those of you that are gonna, if you join us over in the Go Live League, which is my monthly membership, I use peanut butter and jelly example all the time. So hope you like peanut butter and jelly, because I do. Okay, let's talk a little bit about what else you can be doing ahead of time. Even inside a Facebook group, there is an algorithm at work. And the way that an algorithm works in Facebook is that you show somebody a piece of content, and the algorithm kind of sits and waits and says, how do these people respond to that piece of content? And if people respond to that piece of content, then the algorithm goes, ooh, I'm gonna show it to more people. And if the people are commenting on this content, the algorithm goes, ooh, these people like this content, I'm gonna show them more of this related content. So what you want to do ahead of time, because you're gonna be going live next week, you want people to watch your live. And for those of you that are like, no, I don't. Yes, you do, because you're gonna be talking about your business. You want people to get to know you and understand what you can do and how you can help them. So in order to get the most amount of people to show up and watch your lives, you've got to boost the algorithm. You are in control of making sure that algorithm goes, oh, so this person is part of this whole challenge thing. I'm going to show more of this challenge stuff to these people. It's almost like it creates a little bubble, and that's what we're wanting to create. So every single day leading up to next week, there is an engagement post in the group. And it is it's the blue and pink one. I'll show you what it looks like. Hold on. It's this color, and it'll always say Go Live Challengers, and then every day there's a question. And they're just fun little easy questions. Like this one was, share your favorite emojis. There was one that was, what city and state are you joining us in the challenge from? Some of them are gonna get a little harder in terms of like, what's getting in your way of going live, or how do you feel about going live? But they're super easy. It will take you, I'm not kidding, 10 seconds a day. All you got to do is go into the Get on Camera group, find that pinned pinky purple one, and answer it. That's all it takes. Okay. This is also a really good tip for you. If you are somebody who wants to regularly go live in my community, or if you go live in other people's community, you got to boost that algorithm. So in the days before you're going to go live, you want to make sure that you're engaging in content in that group. Okay. Any questions on this? Now's your chance to ask. So drop them in the comments and I'll come back and answer them. Okay. And I moved away from my group to show you that. And so I've lost my comments here. Let me get back here. Okay. All right. There is a VIP upgrade to this challenge that you might be interested in. I want to just take 30 seconds and tell you about it. It is $27. Oh, I thought these were coming up. For $27, you are getting 4 additional videos. These are self-paced, watch when you want. You're going to learn how to tell better stories. You're going to learn how to position the angle of your camera. You're going to learn how to connect random topics into your business. And, oh, you're going to learn a Post-it note model, which is how do you organize all of the things that you want to talk about. So you're going to get all 4 of those videos. I will watch your live that you're going to do next week and I'm going to give you feedback. And before you freak out about feedback, what that means is I'm going to say, here's what you did well. Here's what you might want to tweak or adjust. In the past, the people who have paid for this VIP upgrade say that that is worth that price and more to get insights. And so often it's just tiny little things that we're going to adjust in order to make your videos that much better and to make you feel that much more confident. Okay. You also get access to me in Messenger. So as we do the challenge next week, if you have questions or you need a pep talk or you're struggling with something, you get to message me. Unlimited, as much as you want. Now, within reason, you can't message me 24/7. I wouldn't be able to respond back. I gotta go sleep at some point. But that's what you get, okay? And then lastly is you get more time. So everything that we're gonna do in the challenge next week will be up and available through the following Sunday. So that is the 20th. Yes, no, 27th. 27th. So if you are a VIP member, you get access to everything forever, for longer, okay? All right. If you have questions about VIP, let me know. If you need the link, just type VIP in the comments and I'll get it to you. I think it's pinned in the group somewhere. You can find it. And I'll also send it out in the email as well. Okay. And this is one of those things where you can get into the first day of the Go Live Challenge next week. You can even get to the third day of the Go Live Challenge next week and say, you know what? I want the VIP, and you can do it then. I'm not changing the price. It's always going to be $27. You're good. Okay. All right. Let us talk about prizes. So what happens if you complete the Go Live Challenge? Completing the Go Live Challenge means you actually go live. You do your one live. If that is the case, you have completed it. And you are going to get a couple of things. Where's my button? I lost my mouse. Okay. You are going to get, man, I'm making this. I've got to figure out a better system here. Okay. Boop, boop. You will get a coupon to join the Go Live League membership, and your first month is only $1. Okay. You will also be entered. Dang it, I did it again. You will also be entered. Everybody who completes, everybody who goes live next week is going to go on a prize wheel. We'll spin the prize wheel. Somebody's going to win 3 months for free in the Go Live League membership. What? What? Yes. So exciting. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Now, here's the one I was looking for earlier. What questions do you have about how any of this parts and pieces work? Because then I'm going to give you homework. Yep. You didn't think you were getting homework today? You are. You're getting homework today. Okay. Danny says, grab the VIP. It's so worth it. I know. It is so, I keep telling myself I need to raise the price, but I just don't. Because I love doing it as much as you love receiving it. So, oh, Amanda loved the VIP. Debbie's got the VIP. Oh, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. No questions are coming in. You ready for your homework? Okay. Here we go. I want you to go live before we even do the challenge. That's your homework. Now, before you have a panic attack or freak out on me or anything like that, I only need it to be 30 seconds long. If you can do this in 10 seconds, you go for it. But I want you to get the first one done and out of the way. All I want you to do is introduce yourself. And I'm going to give you a script here in a second that'll help you. That's all I want you to do is introduce yourself. Now, we have rules in the Get On Camera group that you can only go live on Wednesdays. And by last check, today's Thursday. We're going to bypass those rules only for these videos. Okay. So you're going to use hashtag GLC for Go Live Challenge and hashtag intro. As long as you use those 2 hashtags, your video will stay up forever. Okay. Here's what I want you to realize. Don't overthink it. Don't worry about it. Just do it. I don't care if your hair is in pigtails and you're in pajamas. I don't care if you have a mask on. I do not care about any of that. But it's got to be you. You got to be on camera. And here's all I want you to say. Hi, my name is, tell us about yourself, my favorite food or drink. That's it. That should take you 20 or 30 seconds max. Now, for those of you who've maybe done these challenges before, maybe you're feeling a little more comfortable. If you want to talk more in your little intro, you go for it. Okay? But this is an intro. This is not promote stuff. This is just introducing yourself to everybody else who's doing the Go Live Challenge. All right. Any questions about your script here or what you're trying to do with your homework? me see what we got here. Danny says I'm a wizard. I kind of like being a wizard. I'm a wizard. I'll accept that. Okay, let's see here. Challenge accepted. Okay, that is my question for you. Will you do this? Will each and every one of you do this? Go live, 20 or 30 seconds. Just introduce yourself. That's all you're going to do. I want you to think about this as your starting point. This first video is where you are starting this Go Live challenge. You're getting the first one done and out of the way. And you're proving to yourself that it is not as hard or awful or terrible as your brain is telling you. But it's also the starting point in which next week after the challenge, you're going to go live. You can compare that one against that first one. And you will see, oh my gosh, how much better, how much easier it was when I actually learned how to do this and followed this model or this practice. Okay? All right. Now, I told you that today we would talk about obstacles. What are the obstacles that are getting in your way of showing up live and going live? Now, last week we did 18 of them. Yeah, I covered all of these last week. I don't have time. I'm not organized. What if I mess up? What if I get interrupted? What about my flaws and my gray hair and my zit or whatever it is? People are going to judge me. I'm in my own head, too in my own head. I'm distracted. It has to be perfect. I got no energy. I ramble all over the place. I'm nervous. I'm not prepared. I talk too much like I'm doing right now. And I'm not giving people value and I'm boring. We covered all of that last week. If you didn't watch last week's video and you want it, just type the words last week in the comments and I will get you the link. Okay? What I want to know from you today is if your obstacle is not on this list, let's bust through it. I am willing to stay on here for at least a half an hour, maybe 45 minutes, and we're going to tackle them just like we did last week, one by one. Now, some of you pre-submitted them, so we're going to start. We're going to start with some of these, okay? But I want you to drop them in. Okay. So, the first one that came up is, I'm scared. I'm scared. So what I want you to think about, if you're scared, this kind of fits with I'm nervous as well, is what are you scared of? What about that going live is scaring you? Now that may be a hard question to answer. You might be like, no, I'm scared. I don't want to do it. Okay, why? Keep asking yourself why. Because there's something else driving this one. One of the things to think about like, when somebody, like a family member or something, jumps out from behind the couch and scares you and you're like, ah, right? And you're like, oh, that was so scary. And they do it every day, or maybe they do it once a week. And by the 4th or 5th or 6th time, it doesn't scare you anymore, right? Same thing with going live. The more comfortable you are, the more frequent you do it. And I don't mean go live every day, although I've got a little asterisk here I'll plug in here. I'll come back to that. But the more you do it, the less scary it gets. The problem is it's that first one that's scary. Or you go live and you're like, oh God, there's a train wreck. And then you wait 3 months to do it again. Get back on that horse, do it again and do it again. That's why we're doing this intro first. And then next week we'll do another one. We're not going to let much time go between those two. Now, one of the things that I will hear every once in a while, and it's one of those things that's like, I don't know, I get up on my soapbox and I like rant incoming. So you know that I'm about to say something here. But there are all sorts of challenges out there that say go live every day. And I don't like these because one, that's a lot of pressure, especially if you're doing it 365 days. You need breaks. You're going to burn out. And you know what else is going to happen? Your audience will burn out. If that same person is jumping out from behind the couch every hour on the hour, you're going to switch very quickly from being scared of that to annoyed by that. You don't want to be annoying. Social media needs a variety. You need a mix of different things, and that includes video. Now, I will say this. I told you I would give you a little asterisk, so here's the asterisk. If this is more about just doing it, create a Facebook group that you're the only member in. It's only you in there. Nobody is ever going to see anything you do in there. Do it in there. And if you get a good take, you get a good video and you're like, that wasn't half bad. Download it and post it. But if it's just about practice and getting in the habit, don't do that live in front of your audience, or you'll burn yourself out and you'll burn them out. Okay? So hopefully I tackled scared. If there's something else coming up with scared, drop it in the comments and we will get to it. Okay, next one. I don't like how I sound. There was another one I had that was similar. I don't like to see myself on video. So I don't like how I sound. I don't like how I look. Okay, so the first thing that I will say is, so don't look at yourself. Don't listen to yourself. Don't go back and watch the replay. You don't have to. There are plenty of actresses and actors in Hollywood that don't watch their own movies because they can't. They don't like it. And there's a real phenomenon in that the camera distorts our face, distorts how we look. And for some people, there's a very real condition. I can't think of the name of it. Somebody out here might know. But it changes the way we see ourselves when we see ourselves on video. It's different than how we see ourselves in a mirror or on a photograph. And so that just slight distortion can really mess with your head. So don't do it. Don't look at yourself. So what do I mean by that? When you're live, Post-it note, cover it. Cover yourself on the phone so that you're not seeing yourself. Okay? You're also not hearing yourself other than what you're hearing in your head. And we all know, I'm dating myself here, at the point that answering machines came out and we first recorded our sound and we're like, oh my gosh, that's what I sound like. We don't sound the same in our head as we do when we're in real life. So don't listen to it back. Okay. Now, I'm covering this, but what's really going on underneath, if we dig deeper into that, is you don't like how you sound or you don't like how you look. You can change that. You know that, right? You can change how you look. You can change how you sound. There are voice coaches. In fact, if she's watching today, she'll probably drop a comment in here. There are voice coaches that can help you change that. You can lose weight, gain weight, change your hair. You got all sorts of options if you don't like how you look. But chances are it's more about you feeling worthy and how you feel about yourself. And that's a way deeper issue than we're going to tackle today. But I will say this. Your perfect ideal client, your tribe, your raving fans, the people who love you for you and your content and how you make them feel and how you help them, they don't care. They don't see the gray hair. They don't see the bags under your eyes. They don't see they don't see any of the stuff that we are being critical of in ourselves. And if there is somebody out there that is going to judge you or be critical of you, boot them. You don't need them in your space. Bye-bye. Block and ban. Even if it's family members. That's not your person. That's not who you're showing up for. You're showing up live for the person who wants to hear what you have to say, who wants to be helped by you. That's who you're showing up for. So focus your attention on the right people. Not the haters, not the trolls, not the yuck. Okay, enough on that one. This one is similar but different. And if you guys have questions as I'm going through these, drop them in, okay? Okay, I don't like being on camera with people I don't know. Okay, so that's a little different. That is, I'm comfortable with my friends, with my family, with maybe my clients, but you talk about strangers and I'm like totally wigged out. Oh, my nose is itching. Okay. You got to ask yourself why. Why? What's going on? What's deeper than that? Because that's the one we've got to get after. If it is something around, I'm making guesses here. If it's something like, I don't know who they are, and so that makes me feel uncomfortable. What I want you to do is when you go live, don't think about that. Don't think about how this video is going out to millions of people. But let me just say this. Wouldn't it be cool if you did? Like, how cool would that be? Like, that's a problem I want to have. I want millions of people to see my videos because think of what that's going to do for your business. Okay, but when you are going live, don't think about all of them. Don't think about all the strangers. Think about your one perfect ideal client, and that's who you're showing up for. Imagine that you are only talking to her. That is going to translate so much better for the people on the other end who are receiving it. And it's going to totally clear out all of that gunk in your head about, oh my gosh, strangers. Okay. If part of this is about these strangers are going to judge me, rewind this video and go back to what I just said. Block and ban. Get rid of them. You don't need them. Okay? One of the most empowering things you can do, block and ban. It's my favorite thing to do. Every day when I get to do it, I'm like, bye, bye, bye. Oh, so fun. Okay, and let me know on that one if anything is coming up here. Okay, Danny just commented, and I'm not going to necessarily specifically call this out, but here's an important note. If you have like a high school friend or even a family member, and they're not behaving appropriately, I'm not saying you kick them out of your life. I'm saying that they lose privileges if they do not respond well in your space. And so you may have to have a conversation, especially if it's somebody you know, to say, hey, I'm trying to run a business here. I know you think you're being funny and cute, but it hurts me and it hurts my business. And if you don't stop it, then I'm going to unfriend you and you're not going to be able to see my content. Just have that conversation with them. It's about setting some boundaries there, right? If it's somebody that you're like, I can't have that conversation, then don't worry about it. Block and ban them. Get rid of them. I'm not saying that out of your life. I'm saying off Facebook. That's all you got to do. I know I'm making it sound super simple and there's all sorts of complexities there with family, but there's no rule anywhere that says you must be Facebook friends with your family. They're the one breaking the rules. They're the ones being naughty. Bye-bye. Okay. Okay, next one. Let me see if there's anything coming up in the comments. Okay, Amanda says she feels dreadful when she blocks people. Why? Why do you feel dreadful? I love it. But I will say this, the first few times, it does feel a little uncomfortable. It's like anything else. The more you do it, the easier it gets. Okay? What you have to understand is it's not like they get a notification. It's not like they get some sort of big email that says, by the way, Jamie Hain just blocked you from Facebook. Oh, that would be horrible. No, they just stop seeing you in their feed. That's it. That's it. They don't even know. And what you got to realize is their uncool behavior is more about them. So I promise you, they're not even noticing. Not even noticing. Okay? Okay. You can also, I saw another comment. I hide comments that are dodgy. Yes, I do too. And if there's too many people, if it's the same person being dodgy over and over, that's a great word, by the way. It's time for a conversation or block and ban. Okay, next one. I get tongue-tied. Okay. What is happening to you in this moment of being tongue-tied is that your brain is not thinking correctly. It is not correctly the pathway between your brain and your mouth. There's a big fissure in the way, some big gaps. It's just not connecting. It doesn't come out right. So what the heck do we do about it? And what is causing it? Typically, what's causing it is you're nervous. And when we are nervous, we go into fight or flight. Or fawn, or what is it? Fight, flight, freeze, fawn. We go into one of those. And I can't remember which one it is, but one of them makes us go, freeze. It would be freeze. It would be freeze, right? And so that can create that tongue-tiedness. The other thing that can create that is we're thinking while we're trying to talk. We are not present in the moment. We're thinking about what's coming next. What am I going to say next? Where am I going to go next? What am I going to talk about next? What's happening? Where am I? And especially if you're planning it while you're going live, this creates tongue-tied. Because your brain and your mouth, they're not in sync. So what you've got to do, unfortunately, is you have to plan your videos. You have to plan it out in advance so that you're not thinking while you're talking. And the best thing I can do, we're going to talk more about this next week, is bullet points. Map out what you're going to be talking about so that you can be absolutely present in that moment when you're talking about it. Okay, last thing that I'll say on the tongue-tied is this. So what if you get tongue-tied? So what? I say the wrong words. I get tongue-tied all the time. I make mistakes all the time. Does that mean you're not going to watch my videos? If I stumbled over my word, oh, that's it. I'm not going to follow her anymore. I'm done with her. Bye. No, It makes you feel more connected to me. Like, oh, I do that too. Oh, yeah. You are human to your audience. Your audience doesn't want perfect. They don't want perfection. They want somebody that they feel that they can ask questions of, that is somebody who's approachable, somebody that's what they want. So call it out. I say all the time, oh my gosh, I completely forgot where I was going. Hang on a minute. Hold on a minute. Where was I going? What was I going to talk about next? Your audience, this is what makes them love you, not judge you. The judgies, they go bye-bye. Okay, I'm going to stop, look at comments, see if there's anything coming up around this one, because I know this one is one that comes up a lot. My brain isn't braining. Yes, that's exactly it. Because what's happening is your brain is going, divert all energy to nerves. She's nervous. Divert all of our attention right there, right? And so your brain is going, I can't do all this other stuff. We've got a fire to put out. She's scared. She's nervous. Get all the resources there. So over time, what we're trying to do here inside of this group, and if you join the Go Live League, we get even more into it, is we got to get you so much more comfortable going live that you don't send those signals to your brain because you're not nervous. You're in control. That's the objective. Okay, see what else we got. I like that. My brain isn't braining. Okay. Laura says, I suddenly don't feel ready, don't know what to say, and think, what's the point anyone? No one's listening, wasting my time. Okay, let's break those down because there's chunks in there that we can talk about. I don't feel ready. You're never going to feel ready. Nobody's ever ready for anything, right? You probably weren't ready to be a mom. You're not ready to start a new job. You're not ready to start your own business. You're never ready. Readiness is this thing we tell ourselves we must be. And women in particular, we're so bad at this. We feel like we must be 100% ready for something. No, stop that. Stop telling yourself you're not ready. Stop listening to that voice in your head that's telling you you're not ready. Okay, we're going to come back to this because I'm going to talk about the next part. I'm going to skip over the middle part and I'm going to go to the part that says, what's the point? No one's watching. No one's listening. I'm wasting my time. Okay, here's the thing. You will never get people to watch your videos if you don't do them. Let me say that again in a little bit different way. Nobody's ever going to go show up live if you're not live. It can't happen. It's not possible. You have to do the thing a number of times, and then suddenly people start showing up. Especially if you give good content, and especially if you are consistent, and you do all the other things to communicate that you're going to be live on this time and this day. But it won't happen if you don't do it. So what happens is we go live 2, 3, let's even say 4 times. Maybe it's even 8 times. And you're going, no one's showing up. No one's showing up. I'm going to give up. Guess what? Maybe the very next video you were going to do, you'd have 10 people on. I'm telling you, it happens to my clients all the time. I have people that message me and say, I have been going live for the last month and nobody's shown up. And today I had 10 people on. You won't get there without doing it. You have to trust the process. It's kind of like a diet, okay? So you can't just have a salad tomorrow and lose 50 pounds. It doesn't work that way, right? You have to change your behaviors and eat different and move more in order to lose weight. But you don't see the impact of that for weeks, right? You can get on the scale and the scale can tell you that you lost 3 pounds, but you don't feel different. Same way with videos. You've got to do the thing repeatedly in order to get people showing up. There's a statistic out there. I don't know if it's still true. It's been out there for a while. That 80% of your views will happen after the fact. 80% of your views will be replays, not live. So are you looking at that? Are you paying attention to those parts and pieces? Because those people showed up for you. It wasn't live, but they still showed up for you. Give that some attention. Okay, so the 2 parts here kind of go together. I'm not ready. Nobody's showing up live. You got to do it anyway. You got to do it anyway. You got to trust that they will show up. They will be coming. You have to feel it in your bones. You have to be confident and know that it is happening. And it all comes down to making sure that you are giving away good, juicy content that people actually want. Okay. Let's talk about that middle part. The middle part was, I don't know what to say. That's what you're going to learn in this challenge next week. And if you're going to join the Go Live League, you're going to learn even more what to say and how to structure it. I like to talk about it like presentation skills. You're learning an order, a formula of I talk about this, and then I talk about this, and I talk about this, and I talk about this. You're learning a model that helps you know what to talk about and how to assemble the parts and pieces. Okay? The Go Live Challenge next week, you're going to learn hook, story, call to action. If you do nothing else other than hook, story, call to action, you will be in better shape. You will know what to talk about. It's right there. And I did a video, by the way, it was this month, it was earlier this month, on what do I talk about in terms of what topics do I talk about. So if you missed it and you want that, let's see here. What do I want you to type in the comments? Type, if I just say video, I won't remember which video it is. So let's type, why don't you just say what to talk about? I know it's more than one word, but I can't think of how to shorten it, and then I'll know what you mean. What to talk about, and I'll get you the link to that video. Okay. Okay, bullet points. Tracy says, you're so right with the bullet points. Yeah, you do not want a script. We're going to talk about this next week, okay? And those of you that are in VIP, you're going to get that extra video that is how you put together your bullet points and your Post-it notes and all of that. If you write every single word out, you are going to be reading those words. And here's what's going to happen. Rather than being connected with your people and responding and being in the moment, you are going to be reading your notes like a robot. And I'm telling you, nobody wants to be read to. That's where it gets boring. Next, the 24th of this month, we'll be talking about boring and monotonous. And I'll tell you the first key is ditch the script. I don't know if you saw my post this week, but I celebrated one of my clients, Lucy, who ditched her script. She was writing out scripts. She had so many notes. She held up her notes, and I was like, oh, this is what the problem is. We got to get rid of that. And we practiced 2 or 3 times, and we got rid of that stupid script. And oh my gosh, her videos are so much better. You got to ditch that need to be perfect and to say it precisely in the right way, because your audience doesn't need it to be precise. They don't. They need to connect with you. Okay, see what else we got. I'm laughing because, yeah, I know you're right. Good. I'm glad you're laughing. Okay. Thank you. I still have to show up. Yep, you got to start. If those of you that are new to me, you might not have heard me talk about this yet. Well, obviously you haven't because you're brand new to me. Anytime you're learning something new, you got to go through these steps. You got to start. You suck. You get better. No other way. What happens is we don't start something because we don't want to suck at it. And even if we've pushed through that first part and we suck at something, we give up and we say, I'm bad at this. I can't do this. I'm done. I'm out. When you have to go through the suck in order to get better. I wish that I could pull out my magic wand. I actually have a magic wand. Oh, where is it? Where's my wand? Thank you, Robin Walker, for sending me this wand, okay? I wish this was a real wand that actually worked, and I could go like this, and you would magically be better. You would magically be perfect. There would be no sucky part. The best I can do is help you get there faster. The best I can do is help give you feedback and coaching and support and teach you how to do it. But you have to do the thing, and you have to go through some suck in order to get better. Now, you can suck in my group before you start doing it in your own group. You can create your own Facebook group and you can practice in there and get better that way. There's lots of other ways around it. But don't give up, and you've got to start. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. What to talk? Oh, you're all, okay. You all want the what to talk about. Oh, it was a good one. Okay. Danny, and then join the Go Live League for the rest of it. Yes. So good. Okay. Suck until you suck less. Yes. We have t-shirts. We have t-shirts that say, we have one that says, let's say here, I go live and I like it. We also have tumblers. I go live and I like it. And then we have one that says, I went live and didn't die. Good one, right? But I really think we need one that says, embrace the suck. Because we all got to do it, right? We got to embrace the suck. We got to get through the suck in order to get better. I think we should have one. Sherry, if you're watching, I think we need one. Okay. Ditch the perfection. Yes. your audience, your perfect people, they don't want perfection. They just want you to help them. You know more than they do. That's why they're following you. They want to learn from you. They want to be inspired by you. They want to get tips and tricks and ideas and suggestions from you. They don't want perfection. They want you. So in those moments where you're like, I'm not ready, I don't look good enough, my hair's a mess, whatever obstacles you're throwing out in front of you, what I want you to stop and think about is that one perfect ideal client who today needs to hear what you are about to share. And you're deciding not to show up for that person because you got a pimple on the top of your nose, or because you need to color your hair, or because, I'm just not ready. They don't care if you're ready. They don't care about any of that. They needed to hear exactly what you were sharing. Focus on them and watch the rest just disappear. Okay, what else we got here? Told you Jamie is a wizard. See? Let's see here. See, I would buy Embrace the Suck. Yes, and it would bring a lot of questions. Maybe it doesn't say embrace. Maybe we could, I don't know. Sherry, you're going to have to help me with this. Maybe it could just say start, suck, get better, embrace the suck. I don't know. We'll play with it. Sherry and I'll play with it. She's a wizard at this stuff. Okay. Focus, Jamie. Okay. There were two other things that came up as prereqs. And again, if you're on with me live or you're watching the replay, drop your comments. What is getting in your way? If we've not talked about it, what's the obstacle? If I said to you, you got to go live. Right now, as soon as we're done here today, I want you to go live. Well, I have said that. I've said you're going to go live and you're going to introduce yourself, right? What's coming up in your head that's making you go, oh, no, can't do it, not ready. Drop it in the comments. Let's bust through it. You got me here. Let's bust through it. Okay. So there were a couple submitted that were similar. Where did my thing go? Hold on here. Okay. It is two sides of a coin. One side says, I can't go live impromptu, I need a script. And the other one says, I need to go live without any structure. So you got two sides of this, right? Here's what you got to realize. The grass is not always greener on the other side. So we often beat ourselves up and we think, why can't I do this? Why can't I go live without a script? Or why do I need a script? They don't. They're different people. Don't worry about them. Just worry about you. What's getting in your way? If you are somebody that gets tongue-tied, that loses your train of thought, that rambles, that doesn't seem to get anywhere, I'm talking about myself here because this was me. You're going to need a plan. It doesn't need to be a script. You need an outline. You need a presentation order of I'm going to talk about this, I'm going to talk about this, I'm going to talk about this. You need a little bit of planning. The key is to plan that little bit and make it look like it's impromptu. Make it look like you just were off the cuff. Let's use this example right here, this video that I'm doing right now. I have a plan. I have a script, not a script. I have an outline. I knew what I was talking about. I knew the things that I wanted to talk about. I planned that. Maybe it took me, 15 minutes. You're going to probably plan longer when you first get started, and you'll have to plan less as you do this more often. But you got to have a path of what are you covering because you're trying to get to an end result. We're going to talk about that next week. Where are you ending? We're going to start with that first. Okay. So this feels like this is an obstacle in that I can't do it impromptu. I need a script. Yeah, you need a script. Good. Awesome. Just don't write it out word for word. Right? My example earlier. We don't want robots. We want humans. Ditch the script. Okay. On the other side of that, I get people who will say, oh, I just don't like planning. I don't like structure. Okay. I don't like eating vegetables. I would like to have ice cream every meal of the day, but I can't do that. That's not good for me. Okay. So sometimes a little bit of structure, you might just have to embrace it. It might be about figuring out how much structure is right for you and what's not. Okay. That's why this model that you're going to learn next week, hook, story, call to action, it's so simple. It's so simple and so easy. You can totally do this. That's not a whole lot of structure. Okay. Think about it like this. I'm going to use this example. For those of you that like to cook, who likes to cook? Do you guys like to cook? I love cooking. I love trying new recipes. I probably do more recipes than I do just wing it. But it doesn't have to be like a scripted out recipe. Like Sherry, who does my t-shirts, and Sherry, you do so much more for me. I love you so much. She sent me a recipe. I think it was last weekend. I made it over the weekend, and it was just simple. Like put this and then put this and then put this. There were no measurements or anything like that. And it was, oh my gosh, it was one of the best things we had. It was so good. We ran out already, and my husband's already like, are you gonna make that again? Yes, I'm making it again. So good. Okay, but what I want you to think about is the first time you made some recipe that you now love. Let's say, I'm just gonna use chili as an example. I don't know why that's popping into my head, maybe because it's cooling down outside. So the first time you got a brand new chili recipe, right? What happens? You got your recipe. I don't have you got your recipe here. You got your card. It's got all your instructions, right? How many times do you look at that card while you're making that chili the first time? Like 3,000, right? And have you ever had this where you're like, okay, how much chili powder? Okay, 1 tablespoon of chili powder. Okay, then you go over to get your measuring spoon and you're like, wait, how much was it? How much was it? And you look at it like 5 times. You double and triple check the measurement. Was it a tablespoon or is that a teaspoon? Which is it? You're in your head thinking about this recipe because you want to get it right. Now fast forward. You've now made that chili recipe 3,000 times. Are you needing this card? No! You're just dashing in. You're eyeballing because you've made it so many times you don't even have to think about it. The same thing happens with your videos. I'm pushing you to put a model in place, even a simple one, hook, story, call to action, and that's like, oh, I got to think about it. But eventually, over time, you won't have to think about it. You will just do it. So again, embrace the suck. It may be difficult to have some structure there, but the more you do it, the easier that structure gets. And there are countless examples of this that I could talk to you about. Even, I'm not even going to go there. Hopefully you get it. If you got questions on this, ask, and we'll talk about it. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Okay. Being judged. Okay, let's talk about that. So the question that I have for you, and you don't have to answer this. I don't want you to feel like you're on the spot. Being judged in that people are going to comment badly and say something bad, like, oh my gosh, you have a pig nose. I have gotten that my whole life. Oh my gosh, you have a pig nose. Okay, is it that kind of judged? Or is it they're going to judge me and think bad about me, but I'll never know that they're thinking bad of me. I just think they're thinking bad of me. Because both of those, well, let's just talk about both of them, shall we? Okay. The person who's actually going to say, oh my gosh, you have a pig nose. Here's what you do. Hide comment, block and ban. You don't need them in your life. They are likely saying that because they are a miserable human being and they just want to make people feel bad in order to make themselves feel good. You don't need them. Get rid of them. Goodbye. Let it run off you like water off a duck's back. Doesn't even stick. Takes practice, but it is what it is, okay? Again, my guess, I said this earlier, if those comments are really hurting you, you probably got some things that you got to deal on inside, some worthiness, some believing in yourself that probably needs a little bit of work. So you can do this yourself. You can hire a coach. There's all sorts of great people who can help you with this. Okay. If it is, oh my gosh, they're thinking these bad things. They're not commenting, but I just know they're thinking these bad things. Okay. Same answer. Why are you thinking about something that you don't even know is happening or not happening? You don't know that they're judging you. You're just assuming they're judging you. And what's likely happening is this imposter syndrome going on in your brain is kicked up into high gear. That voice in your head is telling you all of this stuff. You know what? They're probably saying this. And who are you to do this? And why should you be? Nobody's going to listen to you. Nobody's going to show up. Here's the deal. You do not have to listen to that voice. Don't listen to the voice. You tell her, and here's what helps, and this gets a little out there, but I'm going to share it with you anyway. Visualize that voice. Give it a face. Give it a name. Make it a real thing that you can do something with. And every time you hear that voice in your head, you say, no, Gertrude. That's what mine's called. Gertrude. Out. I'm not going to listen to you. Go get coffee. Come back later. There's all sorts of things that we can talk about around imposter syndrome. If this is you and you're having struggles with imposter syndrome, again, there are people that can help you with this. I would love to help you with this. I'm sure there are a whole bunch of people that are in this group who are much better equipped than I am, but I'm happy to share if that's something you struggle with. Let me know. Okay. See what else we got. Okay. Okay, so Danny is saying there's a difference between my camera on my phone, my camera on my computer, and there's all sorts of like zooming in and outs and all of that stuff. Yep. So here's what I would tell you to do. Get comfortable with that sucker. Okay, I know when I'm using my phone versus when I'm using my computer, exactly how far back I need it to be, what lights I need to turn on. I got it all down. And I've got it down because I've done it a bazillion times. Same thing on my phone. Okay, so what you can do, remember that Facebook group, that fake Facebook group, just you in it? Go in there, go live 5 times in a row on your cell phone. Practice moving it at different places. Get it down so that you're like, got it now. And then you don't have to think about it. You just need that practice. The problem is you're trying to learn that while you're doing it live, and it's getting in your head and distracting you. So do it in a practice room where nobody's watching and you don't care. Nobody cares. Nobody's gonna see it. Okay, let me know if that doesn't help, Danny. Okay. You gonna want it's not the chili recipe. You want it was chicken spaghetti squash. Oh my gosh. If you like spaghetti squash, ask me for the recipe and I'll get it to you. It's so good and so easy and so yummy. It's a pesto sauce. I'm gonna start salivating if I keep talking about it, so I'm not gonna talk about it. I just wrote embrace the suck on a post-it note in my computer. Yes. Okay. We always talk about affirmations and things of that nature. Write on post-it notes. What are the things you need to be reminded of? Okay. When I first started doing video, I would have post-it notes that said smile. I would have post-it notes that say slow down, whatever you need, because you need to see that, right? It goes back to that voice in your head that's telling you all that negative stuff. If that's going on in your head, it's getting in here. It's getting everywhere. You're starting to believe it. And so you have to stop and you got to replace all of that with the good stuff that you do believe. Post-it notes are great for that. Sometimes if I'm going through a tough time or something's going on with me, I will take post-it notes and they'll be all over my mirror in my bathroom. Then every time I go in there to use the facilities, I'm reminded of all these positive things that I need to reinforce. Yeah, post-it notes, I'm telling you, post-it notes rock. They rock. Okay, Laura says, that's my problem. I'm not planning enough. Yep. This is why this Go Life Challenge is going to be so good for you, because you're going to learn how to do this in 5 minutes. It can be that short and sweet. Don't overthink it, but you do need to do a little bit of planning. I cannot just grab my phone and go live. It would be a nightmare. It would be so bad. I don't even want to think about it now. But I used to try because I thought that's what everybody else is doing. But they're not. They're planning it. They just make it look like they didn't plan it. Okay. Model to follow. Hook, story, call to action. Yes, that's what you're going to learn next week. If you're not signed up for the challenge, sign up for the challenge, because not only are you going to get replays and reminders, I'm also going to transcribe the videos next week, so you'll have written notes. It'll be awesome. Okay. Out Gertrude. Yes. By the way, Gertrude looks like Roz from Monsters, Inc. So if you don't know Roz from Monsters, Inc., I'm going to let you Google it. That is what the voice in my head looks like. And by giving that voice in my head a face and a name, I have been able to silence her. I rarely hear from her anymore. It's almost like she used to. I had Stephanie Thompson, who's in this group. Many of you may know Stephanie Thompson. She once told me years ago that she's completely silenced the voice in her head. And I was like, whatever. Like, you clearly don't know how loud this is in my head. Like, there's no way I could silence her. And so after working with a number of amazing, amazing people who are in this community, I could name names and go on and all, but I don't want to leave anybody out because so many of you have given me little parts and pieces of this. Stephanie has helped me. Sandy has helped me. May, you're awesome. But I think it was May that made me put a face and a name to her. And now she kind of just pops in every once in a while, and it's almost like she's going, excuse me, Jamie, I just have something I want to add here. Versus before, she was screaming at me all the time, all the horrible things. So I am living proof that you can master that. And for me, the key was I had to give her a face and a name, and I had to talk to her. Okay, tangent. Jocelyn, that's another good name. Somebody else? No. Let me think here. Somebody else has Jocelyn as the name of their voice in their head. I can't think of who it is. We've had some really good names come up. Horticia was one. That was a good one. That was a good name. You want to name the voice in your head something that you're not going to likely encounter, because then it's really uncomfortable when you meet somebody new and they have that name, and then you're like, ooh, that doesn't work so good. Okay, where do I register for the Go Life Challenge? I'll drop you the link as soon as we get off the call. There's a registration link. I'll send it to you. And if anybody else wants the link to register for the Go Life Challenge, just type GLC in the comments and I'll get you the link. Okay, Laura is feeling excited. Okay, that's the other thing. If those of you that are nervous, stop telling yourself you're nervous. Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. That's what's telling your brain to divert all resources to this. Instead, tell yourself you're excited. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. It is almost nearly identical, the reaction in our bodies, excited versus nervous. So tell yourself you're excited. Tell yourself that this is just important. Tell yourself that this matters to you. And watch the change that happens inside. When you tell yourself you're excited versus beating yourself up for being nervous, it is transformational. That little teeny tiny mindset shift, huge. I know that's not where you were going, but when I saw the word excited, Laura, I was like, oh, I got to talk about that. Okay. Anybody need anything else? How long have we been talking? See, I told you we'd stay on here, but if anybody's got any other obstacles that are coming up that we haven't touched on, drop them now. And for those of you that are watching the replay, if you're still watching the replay, if you've got obstacles, I want to help you overcome them before the challenge next week. Because if you don't dig out those obstacles, it's going to keep coming up. If you don't dig down and figure out what is really causing my issue. I'm going to use the example because it's come up a couple times today about judgment. So there's a concept called the 5 whys, and I learned this from Daniel Abbott. 5 whys. Ask yourself why 5 times. Dig deeper each time to get to the real root cause of what that issue is. Okay. So let me give you an example. I don't want to go live because I feel like I'm going to be judged. Okay. Why am I worried about being judged? It's number 1. I'm worried about being judged because I don't like people thinking bad about me. Why don't I like people thinking bad about me? I don't like people thinking bad about me because I want them to like me. Why do I need everybody to like me? And you keep going until you've done it 5 times. You might not even need 5, but you're going to dig and dig and dig and find out what's really going on deep. Sometimes it takes a matter of days and weeks to dig into that because you might uncover something that you need to deal with for a while before you go to the next level. That's okay. But what's going to happen is I can teach you all of these great models. I can teach you how to present. I can teach you how to be compelling and captivating on camera. And all of it's going to go in one ear and out the other because this culprit, this thing that's getting in your way is going to keep creeping up. It's going to keep getting in your way until you deal with it. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Sandy says, nervous is just excitement without breathing. I like that. I like that very much. That's kind of true. Yeah. And you can't be nervous and excited at the same time. There we go. So why not choose to be excited instead of choose to be nervous? Love that. All right. I am not seeing any other questions or challenges coming up. And while I would love to just sit here and chat with you all for a while, we've been on for an hour. So hopefully this was valuable for you today. Hopefully you got a couple of nuggets that help you think about your obstacles in a different way. Again, if yours didn't come up, if you're watching on replay and you want to either share it here in the comments, I will say this. If you are registered for the Go Live Challenge, I have messaged you. Message me back. Tell me what your obstacle is, and I will help you on voice message. I will share a little example of how I can help you at least take a step in the right direction to start getting past whatever obstacle you're throwing up in front of yourself. Throwing up in front of yourself, that's not the best visual, is it? But you know where I was going. You know where I was going with that. All right. See you next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I've had that up a whole time. I didn't mean to have that up the whole time. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 12 Mountain Time, same time as today. I'll see you for the Go Life Challenge. If you've not registered, type GLC in the comments and I will get you the link. I will say that this challenge, I've heard from a lot of people that have taken this over the years. I've been running this challenge now for multiple years. It will change the way you feel about video. And you will proudly wear that t-shirt that says, I went live and didn't die, because it's not going to kill you. You are able to embrace the suck. You are going to be able to be better at this. You can be as good as you want to be at going live. You just got to tell yourself you're going to do it, and you need to not give up. And you need to keep learning and keep pushing yourself. You will get there. I'm living proof. I'm living proof. You can do this, okay? I was a kid. When I was little, I hid behind my mom's legs. That's how scared I was. Of my family. That's how scared I was. And now I show up live on camera. You can do this. And I'd love to help you. All right, guys. See you next week.